What's going on, everybody? It's Nick with Facemask Fantasy, continuing to profile the 2023 draft class as we move through the offseason. I'll provide some early draft season profiles for this year's prospects and give some thoughts on their outlook prior to the NFL draft. This, of course, can eventually be subject to change. Up today, Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson, who absolutely wowed at the NFL Combine. The dual-threat Richardson spent only 1 year as a full-time starter, but flashed his potential in limited opportunities in 2020 and 2021. Once he got his chance, Richardson immediately showed off his ability and what makes him such a high-profile prospect at the quarterback position. In the Gators' 2022 season opener against Utah, Richardson put the NFL world on notice. He threw for 168 yards and ran for another 106 with 3 rushing scores, one of which came from 45 yards out, as he led Florida to an upset win over the eventual Pac-12 champions. The rest of Richardson's 2022 was up and down, although he had a 500 all-purpose yard effort a few weeks later against Tennessee. He finished 2022 with 2,549 passing yards, 654 rushing yards, and 26 total touchdowns compared to 9 interceptions in 12 games played. Richardson is an athletic quarterback with great arm strength, but hasn't yet consistently showed the polish to put him in the conversation of top quarterback prospects in this year's draft. For much of the offseason, those honors have belonged to Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and to a slightly lesser extent, Will Levis. And the Combine likely didn't change Young and Stroud being the first 2 quarterbacks off the board. But it did remind everyone exactly what Richardson could become. Richardson had a record-setting workout at the Combine. He ran an insane 4.43 40-yard dash, recorded the highest vertical by a quarterback, and had the longest broad jump for a quarterback in over 20 years. Oh, and he stands at 6'4", weighing 244 pounds, so he possesses those physical attributes that simply can't be taught. All this to say, Richardson has the tools to develop into one of the most dynamic players at the quarterback position, and likely catapulted his draft stock into the top 10 picks of the first round. As of the making of this video, I would still select Young and Stroud ahead of Richardson in Dynasty rookie drafts. Both appear to be more NFL ready and don't need as much work as far as development. But I think it's fair to say now, Richardson has the highest ceiling for fantasy purposes if he reaches his potential. He now appears to be a top 6 pick in Superflex formats and should go no later than the middle of the second round in 1 quarterback leagues. Landing spot and draft capital, as always, will be important to monitor here, especially with a prospect like Richardson that's going to need some work. It's high risk, high reward, but he has the makings of a fantasy superstar in the right environment that doesn't ask too much of him too quickly. A situation that has an incumbent in place that can start week 1 while the team brings Richardson along feels like the best case scenario. A team like Seattle, picking at 5, comes to mind. We'll, of course, revisit Anthony Richardson once we officially know his landing spot, but what do you guys think? Put any thoughts you have in the comment section below, and we can have a conversation about this. I also host live streams on my channel each Thursday, all off season long, at 6 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out, come get any questions answered you may have, or feel free to bring up any general topics, Dynasty or otherwise, you wish to discuss. Till then, this is Nick with Facemask Fantasy. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.